All eyes are on New Hampshire tonight ahead of tomorrow's first primary contest of the 2020 presidential election cycle. Judy Woodruff and Lisa Desjardins are there, and we'll hear more from them shortly. But first, Lisa reports on how candidates are crisscrossing the state to court voters and sharpening their attacks against each other in the final sprint.
Tomorrow could begin the end of Donald Trump.
Even by Granite State standards, this one is a whopper. 5 Democratic candidates fighting for the top spots.
I'm ready for some change. Are you ready for some big structural change?
I promise you, I can get this done. I can get it done in the first year, and we'll give people hope immediately.
What we need right now is a candidate for all of America, not just half of America.
With the oldest and youngest candidates in modern history racing for first.
If we win here in New Hampshire, and with your help, I think we can win. It'll make it easier for us to win in Nevada and in South Carolina and in California.
I believe the Granite State could make me the next president of the United States. And if
the galloping horse race is spurring another political phenomenon. For every New Hampshire voter whose mind is made up, there are even more who still are not sure.
Do you know who you're going to vote for?
No, I don't know who I'm going to vote for.
3 candidates at this point. I am undecided right now.
I think this is just sort of like the last 48 hours kind of jitters, so I'm not sure what's going to happen.
Polls out this weekend show 50 to 60% of New Hampshire Democratic voters have not made up their minds. The contest is now a blitz to reach and sway them. The 2016 winner of the New Hampshire primary, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, has a massive organization, literally wall to wall with volunteers at this Concord event Saturday. In Sanders' field office in Lebanon, near the Vermont border, organizers are coordinating busloads of fired-up volunteers arriving each day, pushing for sweeping change, including government-run health care. Ben Hollander and Maya Munoz are here from New York.
They've basically given the 4 of us 2 separate turfs that we then split up in groups of 2, and they have the names where you go knock, the houses, a map. So
all this on your phone?
Yeah.
But national newcomer Pete Buttigieg, who won the most delegates in Iowa, has proven he's a quick study and a massive crowd draw. His 15 field offices here are in full tilt, stressing the former mayor of South Bend, Indiana, as a smart, fresh leader. The campaign says they're everywhere, including Saturday morning, a freezing cold hotspot, the Merrimack Town Dump, where Buttigieg supporter Ray Swanger and family handed out cookies and waved to car after car in the bitter weather. Roy is registered as undeclared, neither Republican nor Democrat. And undeclared is the largest group in the state, and Roy says Buttigieg can sway them.
You reach them the same way you reach everybody else, by on the ground, canvassing, knocking on doors, making phone calls, as annoying as it is.
Sanders has firm, committed voters, but Buttigieg has this possibility. He is clearly on the minds of the undecided.
I like Biden, and I also like Peter Buttigieg.
Pete Buttigieg.
Anybody else?
Tom Stiles.
How about you? Pete Buttigieg and maybe Amy Klobuchar.
Those words, maybe Amy Klobuchar, are shaking up the race dynamics. The Minnesota senator is seeing her crowds and poll numbers grow quickly after strong debate performances, including last week.
I don't have the bank account of some of my opponents, and I don't have quite the name ID yet, and I'm not a brand new newcomer to politics. But I have integrity, and I get this country.
Undecided voter Debbie Rapson came to a Klobuchar event in Manchester.
I think I may have decided just now for Amy. For me, it is her realness, her humanity.
Klobuchar's rise is a problem for some others.
Can the person you're voting for beat Donald Trump? That's the first question.
Including the man with the most experience, former Vice President Joe Biden. He insists he is best poised to beat President Trump, but Biden was 4th in Iowa, and doubts are rising, including about whether Republican attacks on him during months of impeachment have done permanent harm. But the longtime Democrat has loyal supporters like Bill Glann.
Nothing's changed my mind. They're all pretty good, but I'm a Biden supporter.
Also in the hunt, of course, is a New Hampshire neighbor, Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren, well organized and holding as many events as anyone.
The only way we're going to make this better is we use this Democratic primary to build a grassroots movement. A grassroots movement that's there for the primary, there for the general, and there to make real change in 2021.
She has a focused message about healthcare and other costs being too high because of Wall Street greed.
Well, she's willing to take on corporate America, the insurance companies. She speaks my language.
And don't forget, 5 others in the hunt. Colorado Senator Michael Bennet is getting buzz here.
I think the race is more wide open right now than it has been the whole year.
I know. And voters are thinking about 2 charismatic businessmen, Tom Steyer and Andrew Yang.
Let's make America think harder.
A former governor, Deval Patrick of Massachusetts, and Tulsi Gabbard, congresswoman and soldier from Hawaii. This brings us back to the Democrats' struggle.
I still think it's up for grabs.
And the home of Rona Zlokauer and George Bruno. It's campaign housing for volunteers from opposing teams and a warm place where friends of different camps gather nightly to unwind in a political storm. They explained the indecision to us, talking of high stakes, the chill of impeachment, and the era of President Trump.
The importance of it is just exaggerated by what we've just lived through. The weight is much heavier than I felt it before.
You want to make the right decision, but you're not sure which is the right decision. And that's all based on who is best to beat Trump.
The race is about who can win in November, whether Democrats move left or toward the middle, but it is also about fear of making a mistake.
Where is this country going? It's kind of scary, and I hope we can get on track.
We're getting down to crunch time now. How are you going to decide?
I don't know. It's harder this time. It is harder.
But with the first polls opening at midnight, undecided voters are running out of time. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Lisa Desjardins in Manchester, New Hampshire.
And I'm here with Lisa now, who's been doing so much reporting over the last few days. Lisa, I got into New Hampshire over the weekend, and I see, as I've seen over the years, New Hampshire voters take this vote so seriously. You talk to voters at virtually any candidate event, they're agonizing over it. But I'm particularly struck by the new interest, if you will, in Amy Klobuchar. What do you think is going on there?
I think there's been an opening because of this indecision, and it seems that she's benefiting from it. Voters that I talk to say they like that, they think she's authentic. They like that she has this moderate message that they think is winnable, and some of them like that she's a woman. They want that kind of candidate. Others question if she has a problem because she's a woman. But I'll tell you this, Judy, she's not just appealing to moderates. I was just at a Bernie Sanders event. I spoke to a voter who was thinking about Bernie Sanders and now is all the way on board with Amy Klobuchar. The reason why, again, he thinks she's genuine.
And again, it goes back to that electability thing. Can a woman get elected?
That's
and
right.
if she can persuade them of that, it helps you. So let's talk about something that made news today. 2 of these candidates came out of Iowa, Pete Buttigieg, Bernie Sanders. Today, they both made news by going back to the Iowa Democratic Party.
I mean, even New Hampshire's about to vote and the Iowa caucuses are still in dispute. Pete Buttigieg and Bernie Sanders have asked for a recanvass, a look again at 85 precincts. Now, that's not that many out of about 1,800 precincts, but it really is just a problem for both of these candidates. Pete Buttigieg, as a reminder for our viewers, he has eked out a win in the delegate count. Bernie Sanders says he won because he had more of the popular vote in the first round. So what are voters left to think? In the end, we have these 2 candidates neck and neck, and they're fighting over exactly who gets the title of winner in Iowa.
And no question, Iowa is still a subject of conversation here in New Hampshire, as much as the candidates want to move on. Just quickly, Joe Biden. A lot of looking at Joe Biden and the fact that people worry. I talked to a number of voters yesterday and on Saturday who said they're just not sure that this Joe Biden, who they loved as vice president, has what it takes to win in November.
There are 2 questions with Joe Biden. You know, he has always brought about this idea that he can appeal to middle America. And after impeachment, there's a question of whether he is too damaged. Democratic voters don't like that he was attacked. They don't believe he is a corrupt man, but they're worried that swing voters in November might believe what the president has been attacking Vice President Biden on. The other problem, Judy, he has had some missteps on the campaign trail. He has not performed in debates as well as he's needed to regain his footing. 2 fourth-place finishes, which is what he is in danger of having right now, would be a huge blow. However, of course,
His big state is South Carolina. That's 2 states ahead. We'll see what happens.
And just quickly, when I asked voters what their concern was about Biden, they said it's not age, it's whether he can stand up to President Trump in November. So such a fascinating race. You're following it so closely.
It's so great to be here with you.
And it's great to be here with you.